My neighbor just signed papers on a $44,000 truck that will be a money pit by 120,000 miles. 2 lots down from where he bought it, there is a pickup with a tougher engine, a simpler transmission, and 200,000 miles of life still in it. And it has been sitting unsold for 9 weeks because the badge on the tailgate is not the one everybody brags about. That is the game. The trucks that last forever get ignored. The trucks that bankrupt you get financed for 84 months. After more than 2 decades under these things, I can tell you exactly which 5 to grab off the lot before someone smarter does, and the 3 that will drain your bank account 1 repair at a time. Number 1 is the truck I would hand my own kid the keys to. Let's get into it. Number 5, Honda Ridgeline. I know, the truck guys in the comments are already typing. That's not a real truck. Save it. I've seen what's in the comments, and I've also seen what's on my lift. And the Ridgeline almost never ends up on my lift for anything serious. A customer brought me a 2017 Ridgeline RTL last spring with 94,000 miles and wanted to know if it was worth keeping or trading. I went through the whole thing: brakes, suspension, drivetrain, pulled codes, checked the fluids. The only thing I found was a cabin filter that looked like it had been in there since the factory. I told him to keep driving it. He looked almost disappointed. People want me to find something. With this truck, there usually isn't anything. Here's why the Ridgeline gets dismissed and why that's a gift to you. It's built on a unibody car platform instead of a body-on-frame setup, so the internet decided it's not tough. But underneath sits Honda's J-Series 3.5-liter V6. The same engine family Honda has been putting in the Pilot, the Odyssey, and the Acura MDX for 2 decades. It's naturally aspirated, no turbo to cook itself. It's a proven, high-mileage design that routinely clears 200,000 miles when you change the oil and the transmission fluid on schedule. One honest note, because I won't sell you a fairy tale: the J35 uses a timing belt, not a chain. That belt needs replacing around the 100,000-mile mark. Budget roughly $700 to $900 for the belt and water pump together, because any good shop does them at the same time. Skip it and you're gambling your engine. Do it on time and this thing just keeps going. What you actually get: independent rear suspension that rides like an SUV, a bed trunk nobody else offers, all-wheel drive that handles snow and gravel without complaint, and a maintenance bill that embarrasses the half-tons. A clean 2017 RTL with under 90,000 miles runs around $22,000 to $26,000 right now, and a comparable Tacoma of the same age will cost you a few thousand more for capability you'll probably never use. Who should buy it? Suburban families, weekend Home Depot warriors, anybody who tows a small trailer twice a year and otherwise just commutes. Who should skip it? If you're towing 7,000 pounds up a mountain grade every week, this isn't your truck. But for 90% of pickup owners who never put more than a few hundred pounds in the bed, the Ridgeline is the smartest depreciation play on this list. Number 4, Nissan Frontier with the 4.0 V6. If the Ridgeline gets disrespected, the Frontier gets forgotten entirely. Nissan barely changed this truck for over a decade. The second generation ran from 2005 all the way to 2019 with the same basic bones, and the automotive press treated that like an insult. I treat it like a green light. That refusal to redesign means Nissan spent 14 years working the bugs out of one platform instead of introducing new ones every 3 years. The heart of it is the V40DE, a 4.0-liter V6 that shares DNA with one of the most awarded engine families of the 2000s. It's a chain-driven, naturally aspirated motor that pulls strong and runs to high mileage with basic care. I've got customers well past 200,000 miles on these with original engines and transmissions. Now, I'm going to tell you the one thing that scares people off, because it's real and it's avoidable. The early models, roughly 2005 through 2010, have a known design flaw where the radiator can develop an internal crack and leak coolant into the automatic transmission lines. Mechanics call the result the strawberry milkshake because that is exactly what the contaminated fluid looks like, and it can kill a transmission. Here's the thing, it's completely inspectable and it's a one-time fix. So here is your checklist when you go look at one. First, pop the radiator cap when the engine is dead cold and shine a light in. If the coolant looks pink, frothy, or oily, walk away immediately. Second, pull the transmission dipstick and check the fluid. It should be red, not brown, and never milky. Third, look underneath for any history of a radiator replacement. A Frontier that already had the upgraded radiator installed is actually a safer buy than a low-mileage original. Fourth, on the 4x4 models, get it in a parking lot, lock the wheel, and crawl in a tight circle. Listen for clunking from the front end. Pass all four, and you have a body-on-frame midsize truck with a bulletproof V6 for around $15,000 to $22,000, depending on year and miles, thousands under a Tacoma of the same vintage, for an engine that is every bit as durable. Number 3, Chevy Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra 1500 with the 4.8-liter V8. This one is a trap dodger, so listen close, because the difference between a great GM truck and a disaster is which engine is bolted in. Most buyers chase the 5.3-liter because it is the popular one. The 4.8-liter Vortec, internally the LR4, is the one the smart money quietly grabs, and I will tell you exactly why in a minute when we get to the trucks that will ruin you. The short version, the 4.8, is essentially the same rugged small block architecture as the 5.3. But in many of these trucks, it came without active fuel management, the cylinder deactivation system that causes the headaches. No fancy cylinder shut-off trickery means no collapsed lifters and far less of the notorious oil burning. It is a plain, torquey iron block V8 that tows what most people need and runs past 250,000 miles on oil changes. I had a contractor come in last year with a 2011 Silverado 4.8 around 190,000 miles. He had bought it used for cheap and used it hard, ladders, lumber, a trailer 5 days a week. He wanted to know what it would take to go through it. After I inspected it, I told him, do the spark plugs, flush the transmission fluid, and replace the front shocks, about $700 total. The engine itself did not need a thing. These trucks are everywhere, they are cheap, and the work truck trims that the 4.8 lived in are exactly what gets traded in, beat up, and undervalued. A clean 2009 to 2013 with the 4.8 can be had for $12,000 to $18,000. Your inspection checklist. First, ask for the oil and watch the dipstick. Chronic low oil on any GM V8 tells you a lot about both the engine and the owner. Second, look for active rust on the rear cab corners and the rocker panels. These trucks rust in salt states, and frame rust is the one thing that turns a great deal into scrap. Third, check the steering for clunks. The intermediate steering shaft is a known cheap fix, around $150, but it is good negotiating leverage. Fourth, confirm the engine. Do not take the seller's word. Decode the VIN or check the engine cover. You want the 4.8, not the AFM-equipped 5.3. That single letter in the VIN is worth thousands down the road. Number 2, the first-generation Toyota Tundra with a 4.7-liter V8. Now we're into legend territory, and this is where the rotting on lots theme really pays off, because these are genuinely old, genuinely cheap, and genuinely indestructible. The 4.7-liter V8 in early 2000s. Tundra and its Sequoia sibling carries the engine code 2UZFE, and in the trade that engine code is shorthand for buy it. It is an iron block, timing belt V8 that Toyota over-engineered the way they used to before the accountants got involved. These engines don't just hit 300,000 miles, they hit it on the original internals, with people doing nothing but oil changes and the scheduled belt service. I bought one for my brother-in-law 2 years ago, a 2005 Tundra, 178,000 miles, $11,000, from a guy who thought the mileage made it junk. I knew better. We changed the timing belt and water pump as a precaution, about $900, flushed the fluids, and put 4 tires on it. He's near 215,000 miles now, and the truck doesn't burn a drop of oil. The thing drives like it's got another decade in it, because it does. Here's the honest trade-off, so you go in clear-eyed. It's a timing belt engine, and that belt is a hard maintenance item. If you can't verify it's been done within the last 90,000 miles, assume you're doing it and price that in. And like every Toyota of this era sold in a salt state, frame rust is the silent killer. Toyota ran a major frame corrosion campaign on these years, so a truck from a dry climate with a solid frame is worth real money over a rust belt example with the same mileage. Your checklist. First, get under it with a flashlight and a screwdriver and probe the frame rails, the rear spring hangers, and the cross members. Flaking surface rust is normal, but anything soft or scaly is a deal breaker. Second, ask for timing belt records. No records means budget the $900. Third, let it idle cold and watch the tailpipe. Clean is what you want. Blue smoke means it's burning oil, which is rare on these, and a sign of neglect. Fourth, check that the 4-wheel drive engages and disengages cleanly. A solid first-generation Tundra 4.7 runs anywhere from $9,000 to $16,000, depending on the frame and the miles. That's economy car money for a V8 truck that'll outlive trucks costing 3 times as much. Number 1, the second-generation Toyota Tacoma with a 4.0-liter V6. This is the one. If you ask me what mid-size truck to buy and drive until the wheels fall off, this is my answer every single time, and I've been giving it for 15 years. Let me tell you about the customer who fought me on it. A younger guy, early 30s, came in wanting me to inspect a turbocharged, Euro-badged pickup he was excited about. Lots of screens, lots of features, lots of ways to fail. I told him what the timing system and the turbo plumbing would cost him at 100,000 miles and watched the color drain out of his face. He asked what I would buy. I walked him to the back of my lot and pointed at a 2013 Tacoma, the 4.0 V6 that a customer had left for service. That, I said, that will still be running when your kids are in high school. He bought one a month later. He texts me his odometer photos now, like a proud parent. Here's why I'm this confident. The 4.0-liter V6 in these trucks carries the code 1GRFE, and it is one of the most thoroughly proven 6-cylinders Toyota ever built. It is chain-driven, so there is no timing belt to service. It is naturally aspirated, so there is no turbocharger to fail. It does not suffer the carbon buildup problems that plague direct injection engines, and it is mated to a conventional automatic transmission with a real torque converter, not some gambled-on dual clutch or a belt-driven CVT that slips itself to death. It just runs. I have personally worked on multiple examples north of 250,000 miles still on their original engine and transmission. And here is the part that makes the price hurt in the best way. The Tacoma holds its value better than almost anything on the road. That is the one knock against it. You will not steal one, but flip that around. The reason it does not depreciate is that everyone who owns one knows what they have and refuses to sell cheap. You are not buying a discount. You are buying the lowest total cost of ownership in the entire truck market. A 2012 to 2015 Tacoma with the V6 and reasonable miles runs $20,000 to $28,000, and 3 years from now, it will still be worth most of that. Your inspection checklist, and the fourth one is the pro move. First, get under it and check the frame. Earlier, Tacomas had a serious frame rust recall, and while these later trucks are better, A rusty frame is still the one thing that ends them. Second, check the leaf springs and the rear axle for leaks. Third, on the automatic, drive it through all the gears and feel for clean, firm shifts. Fourth, and this is how you win, find one owned by an older guy who used it for the hardware store and the lake house. A retiree's garage kept Tacoma with 80,000 gentle miles is the closest thing to a brand new truck you can buy used, and those owners actually do the maintenance. Bottom line, 3 rows of redundancy do not matter here. What matters is that the 4.0 Tacoma is the single most reliable thing you can park in your driveway for the next decade. If I had to buy one truck today and keep it until 2036, I would buy this and never look back. So that's the 5 that mechanics quietly grab while everyone else overpays for hype. Now, let me save your wallet, because there are 3 pickups sitting on those same lots that will smile at you on the test drive and bleed you dry by year 2. The 3 that'll ruin you. Avoid number 1, the Ford F-150 with the 5.4-liter Triton 3 valve V8, roughly 2004 to 2008. These are everywhere. They're cheap, and there's a reason. This engine has 2 signature ways of emptying your bank account. The first is the cam phasers, the variable timing parts up front, which clatter into what owners literally call the death rattle, a diesel-like knock at cold start. Fixing it properly is a real timing job, often $1,500 to $2,500 or more. The second is the spark plugs, which were a 2-piece design prone to seizing in the head and snapping in half on removal. Pull them wrong, and you are extracting broken plugs at serious labor cost, sometimes pushing a tune-up past $1,000. A cheap one of these isn't a deal, it's a bill with a tailgate. Avoid number 2, the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel 3-liter, 2014 to 2018. I understand the appeal. Diesel torque, great fuel economy, that satisfying little clatter. But this is a complex, emissions-heavy small diesel, and the repair bills match. EGR coolers fail. Oil coolers leak. The emission system throws expensive faults. There have been timing chain and internal concerns reported. When a gas truck needs a $400 repair, this thing needs a $2,000 one, and diesel labor rates are higher across the board. Unless you are a diesel person who wrenches your own and tows constantly, the math does not work in your favor. The fuel savings get eaten alive by the repair tickets. Avoid number 3, and this is the one I warned you about, the GM Silverado and Sierra 1500 with the 5.3-liter V8 equipped with active fuel management. This is the exact engine I told you to dodge in favor of the 4.8-liter. The cylinder deactivation system is famous for 2 failures: collapsed active fuel management lifters, which can take out a camshaft and turn into a multi-$1,000 engine job, and chronic oil consumption, where the truck quietly drinks a quart every 1,000 miles or so. Fixing a lifter failure correctly can run $2,500 to $4,000 or more. And one more modern warning while we are here: the latest 6.2-liter L87 V8 in 2021 to 2024 GM trucks has been hit with a federal investigation and a recall over connecting rod bearing failures that can seize the engine outright. If you are shopping a recent GM half-ton, verify that recall work is done before you sign anything. So there it is. 5 pickups that the market overlooks and mechanics quietly buy. The Honda Ridgeline that's tougher than its reputation. The forgotten Nissan Frontier with a bulletproof V6. The GM 4.8 that dodges every trap its 5.3 sibling falls into. The indestructible first-generation Tundra 4.7, and the Tacoma that simply refuses to die. And 3 that will smile at you on the lot and rob you in your driveway: the 5.4 Triton, the EcoDiesel, and the AFM 5.3. Next time a salesman steers you toward a shiny lease return with a turbo and a touchscreen, you'll know exactly which engine is under that hood and whether it's a 250,000-mile friend or a 2-year heartbreak. If this saved you from a bad buy, you know what to do. Drive safe, take care of your truck, and it will take care of you. I'll see you in the next one.